In the past, 4 years, lost like 4 of my friends. Yeah, everybody's ODing.
My baby's dad, he just went like so quick. And like all these people are right there and they're like, he's fine. He's not fine though, he's dead.
Do something, somebody get into action and do something. You call 911, we'll just stand there, dude. Go get something, like, bring him back.
I ran across the street, seen he was OD'd.
This one girl, Shorty, comes running, said, we need Narcan, we need Narcan.
You need Narcan?
Yes, please.
You know how to use it, huh?
I believe so.
Been in jail for a little while. That means your system is clean. That means your tolerance is lower.
Anytime that someone has clean time or time of abstinence, whether it's jail, prison, within 24, 48 hours, your tolerance has gone much lower than you expect.
They used the same amount that they had used before and then they overdosed.
People use multiple drugs and all of those stack up and add that much more stress on the system.
You could just be a little buzzed and then you do a smallest piece of heroin and you go out.
The highest risk of overdose, number one, is using alone.
Yeah, and unfortunately one of my friends about 2 years ago down by the 105, he went out by himself and nobody was around and stuff and he's not with us today.
Something happened, at least you got somebody there that can, or that you could hope revive you.
The key signs to look for, lips and nails start to turn a purpley blue.
The color just goes pale. They can't breathe.
It sounds like they're struggling to breathe.
And they're breathing real hard and they're like,
and just not responding.
we're like, hey, wake up, and you don't want to wake up.
You gotta make sure that they're on an overdose. So what you do is you do a sternum rub right here on the chest with your knuckles like that.
With your knuckles, rub on their chest bone. If the person can respond, they will likely respond to that.
If they don't wake up, then you get this.
Immediately grab the naloxone.
You take one, make sure their head is tilted back, push it all the way up in their nose.
You know that it's completely in all the way where it's supposed to be at when the person's nostrils hit your finger, like this.
Okay.
You squeeze in, it shoots, and it's gonna absorb right away. Yeah.
Just press. And it comes out pretty fast.
It does, and it's just one spray?
Yeah, it's one spray, so it's like a one shot. This may take a couple minutes to work.
If she doesn't respond within a minute and a half, then you give her the second shot on the other nostril.
There's 2 doses in here.
Shot one in, didn't do nothing. Shot another one in, his eyes open, shut back. The third one, when he came back.
And what if that doesn't work?
That's why you're calling 911.
Awesome.
911 is absolutely important. They need to get the medical attention and follow up. You don't have to mention anything of an overdose when you're making that call, just that the person is non-responsive and not breathing.
There's a Good Samaritan law. If you are in possession of a small amount of drugs for personal use, they're not going to charge you with that. So you don't have to worry about the police showing up and arresting you for a $20 bag. If there's other things going on, like you're in a stolen car or you have warrants, there's the potential that you might be charged with that. Just to be aware.
I take a chance. Your life is more important than me going or not going to jail.
You're gonna need to breathe for that person until it takes effect.
I did CPR on one girl, plugged her nose and started continuing mouth to mouth.
It's just really important to get those breaths in. You may need to tilt their chin back a little bit.
It's got a hot dog in it. You're gonna pull that out of there and make sure you have this block in the air.
Start with 2 breaths. And then from there, every 5 seconds, 1 regular sized breath.
She came back, but then she fell back out again, and then the ambulance got there, so it was cool. I was grateful that they got there, seriously. I was just more worried about saving her life,
They wake up sick, but once this wears off, then they're gonna start to feel better.
Oh, they wake up sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was got sick. Instant withdrawals.
I felt like it took away my high, so I went to go get high a few more.
stay with them for like a good 2 hours or 3 hours. Try and talk them into not using anymore.
They're going to want to fix again, but you can't let them fix again because this does not take the heroin out of your system.
The person runs the risk of going back out once the naloxone wears off.
As the Narcan leaves your system, slowly but surely you get high again.
Everything we do is harder. To get food, it's harder. To get water and shower is harder. It's harder to keep cool. It's harder to stay warm, you know?
Here's some antibiotic ointments.
Yeah. Narcan, did you get some?
No, I got Narcan. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I still got Narcan.
Here.
I got the nasal and I got the, okay.
Extra.
If you're coming out of jail or treatment, always start small.
You don't go crazy, man. If you go over the top here, you can actually die.
Definitely your last dose is too much, and even half of that is probably too much.
Like close to somebody, I stay with my dad, Ed. Yeah, I stay like not with him, but like next to him, like maybe about a 10 or 2 over.
Just communicate, like make sure everyone knows like what you're doing, where you're going.
Make sure you use around other people and always have Narcan with you. It's always safe to have Narcan.
Teach your friends how to use it, just in case you were the one who needed it. And the more people who know how to use it, the more lives will be saved.
My name's Terry McDonald. I'm the Chief Probation Officer in Los Angeles County. We all know that we've had a prevalence of overdose in the United States, and we simply don't want people to die. We want people to get to services and treatment. And so I encourage you to carry the drug with you. I assure you that carrying the drug is not a probation violation, and I assure you that if you end up saving a life using this drug, we understand and respect that.